Hello there! Today I'll be showing you guys my entire LEGO Clone Trooper army, one that I have been collecting for roughly, I'd say, 16 years or so. And yeah, it's very near and dear and personal to me, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, let's get started. Here's a general overview of everything. Takes a little over 3 base plates, but not quite 4. And yeah, I know, obligatory figures on gray base plate joke here. I'm 100% guilty. And over there I have some custom figures that I'll showcase a bit later. But first, these are actually all duplicates, so I'm gonna head over to a different part of the collection real quick. So here on this glass cabinet, I actually keep all of the figures that I have, at least one of, and I'm trying to collect every single LEGO Clone Trooper ever made, starting all the way back at 2002 up there in the top left. And it just kind of goes down by era. Do bear in mind the Shadow ARF Trooper is unfortunately a knockoff. It is a placeholder until I get the real one because I really do not want to spend $400 on it. That's kind of absurd. And yeah, so I've been collecting these since around 2009 or so, and my first LEGO Star Wars set I can ever remember was the actual, the original Clone Battle Pack from the Clone Wars. One of my favorite sets ever. And here's also the modern era of figures. And I know the 2020 style has been very divisive. I think some figures fit it much better than others, but I still love it, and I'm glad that we're getting modern clone figures. The newest one to the collection, the Cadet from the Gift with Purchase, absolutely amazing, flawless figure, I love it. Additionally, these 3 new ones, the pilots, you got Oddball, Captain Jag, and then the unnamed clone pilot. They are fantastic, superb, I love them. Thank you so much, LEGO. Alright, now that you guys have seen every character that I have at least one of, I'm going to go into all of the duplicates, which is the big army building segment. So we're going to start off in the bottom left corner, and here is the newer style Phase 1 Clone Trooper. That was the LEGO Store exclusive pack. I really like that set. I got 10 of them, and so that ended up in me getting 20 of that Phase 1 Trooper. And then here you can see one Phase 2 Gunner from the ATTE, as well as, what is it, like 19 or so of the Phase 2 Troopers. Over here you can see that I have 10 of the Phase 1 Commander, which is a pretty cool figure, although I do prefer the original one being just yellow rather than the bright light orange. Here are 5 Shock Troopers. I really thought I would have more of these guys by now, but I just have to work on that. And then here is the 187th, which is some of my favorite LEGO figures ever made. They're amazing. I wish I had more of these, but unfortunately they're picking up in price right now. So, I mean, I'll get to it when I get to it. And then moving back down here, I have a ton of 501st Troopers. I was very susceptible to the hype of the 501st Battle Pack back in 2020. And some of these are the newer style with the helmet holes, like as you can see right there, like from the Keller and Beck Speeder set. Most of them are the original 2020 release. Moving on up here, I have 15 of the heavy 501st Trooper from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 Battle Pack that came out. And then behind that, I have 10 of the Jet Troopers, and they're pretty cool. I really love this figure. Here you can see 5 of the Sharpshooters, also from Battlefront 2. And then if we go down here to the bottom, there are 8 Captain Vaughns. 4 of them have the dark red visor because it's a bit more accurate. And then I have 4 of the original release in the back. Here at the front, I have 4 of the 332nd Troopers with the blue jetpack. And then here I just have a bunch of 332nd Grunts. The 3 in the back are the ones without the holes from the AAT set, and then the ones in the front are the new ones from the Battle Pack set. And here is my modern 2/12 collection, and I really like these figures. I know they're a bit controversial. I do prefer the 2014 ones, but I'm just glad that they're easily accessible again. And then, anyway, here's another copy of Cody that I have, and I gave him the dual molded arms from the Marge Simpson CMF figure. I think he looks great like that. And then here in the back, I have 8 of the officers from Battlefront 2. And then now we can move on to some of the more classic stuff. So let me move these base plates out of the way. So we'll start off with this base plate first. And here we have a huge chunk of classic figures. So I have 2 extra copies of the 2002 Phase 1 Clone Trooper, and then a big handful of the classic Phase 2s. And then there are 5 Shock Troopers. There's another Phase 2 Grunt, 2 91st Troopers, have 6 more of the 327th, and that one has a pauldron up there. Very excited for the new battle pack that's going to come out. I'm scared about how many of those I'm going to buy. Here's 6 of the classic V-Wing pilots / ARC 170 pilots. Oh, wait, miscounted. Sorry, there's 7. And then Here's 3 of the 442nd Siege Battalion. An amazing figure, although just way too overpriced. And then here's 3 of the Special Forces Commander from that one book. I'm blanking on the title. And then there's an extra copy of Jek 14. And then here's some extra pilots. So they have the old Captain Jag, the new one, the new Oddball, the new Red Pilot, and then the older style V-Wing pilot, as well as an extra Imperial clone pilot. And then there are 5 Captain Rexes there from the Microfighter, and I think I'm content with that. I honestly only got multiples because I want to use the printed arms for purist customs, not because I need a million Rexes. And then that one over there, I did give a cloth comma and a pair of macro binoculars to be kind of like how he looks on Umbara. All right, let's go back down here to the bottom, and here we have Clone Wars 2008 style, which is just immaculate, very nostalgic. So here I have a hearty handful of the original AP1 style clones. 4 at the very front here have the jetpacks, like the one from the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid set. An amazing set, do recommend. And then in the back, there's 8 clone gunners, which is a pretty underrated figure, if you ask me. There's 2 Commander Grease, and then there are 2 ARF Troopers. I actually have 3 more down at the corner, but I just wanted to keep the rows even. Here's 8 of the Horn Company Trooper, an absolute great figure, one of the best in my opinion. Here are 5 of the animated Phase 2 style 501st Troopers, a really good one, and then 1 more of the 2/12th figure from the Target exclusive Umbaran tank set. A pretty cool one. I wish I had more of that guy, but the new 2/12ths beat it out. And then down here in the bottom, I have 3 extras of the animated Phase 1 pilot. A pretty good figure, although if you guys have seen all of the rumors going around, I think the next one we're going to get is going to be way better than any of the pilots we've ever seen before. And then here we have 3 more of the ARF Troopers, like I mentioned before. And then here are 3 of the Rancor Battalion ARF Troopers. There's 3 of ARC Trooper Hammer, an amazing figure. And then here's a lot of Bomb Squad Troopers. I don't know how I have so many, but they're pretty neat, just super plentiful. And then here are 7 of the brand new Clone Cadet figure. Again, just a masterpiece. I love that figure. And the only reason why I acquired so many is because I actually do want to make a Camino mock at some point. It would help justify all of the shinies I have, and then I can use these. So I'm really excited for that. Moving over to the other base plate here, you can see we have 9 of the realistic Phase 1 style clone troopers, and some of them have the updated 2018 leg printing. Some of them are just the originals from 2013. Back here, there are 5 clone sergeants, as well as 1 Advent Calendar trooper. And then there are 3 of the realistic style clone pilots, one of them with the updated Microfighter legs. Down here, there are 6 of the realistic Phase 2 grunts. Really great figure, really popular as well. And then there are 3 of the realistic style gunners. Unfortunately, one of them is getting quite yellowed. I'll have to fix it. I did get it secondhand. And then here's some more 2/12 love, super, super underrated figures. I just think, honestly, this figure might be my favorite Lego Clone Trooper ever made. I'm not sure, though. And then speaking of favorites, Commander Neo / the 91st Recon Corps. These figures are also amazing, very accurate. I do love them a lot. Hopefully we'll see them updated in some fashion in the newer updated style, but these are good enough for me for now. And then here are 6 of the 41st Scout Battalion. These guys are pretty neat. And then I have 2 of these guys from the Kashyyyk Battle Pack. And then there's a bunch of the Geonosis Troopers as well, and the Geonosis Airbornes. And then here in the very back, these are extras that didn't quite fit anywhere because I was trying to keep the rows as even as possible. So I have an extra tech, but no helmet and no backpack. I have an extra hunter because of the Justifier set. I have several Omegas for some reason. And then I have 3 extra shock troopers. I really want to get more, like I mentioned prior. There's another just random one-off of the newer style Phase 1. You can see there are 3 501st heavies, a bomb squad trooper with a very unfortunate helmet. Again, got it secondhand. It was all sharpied up. And then another of Captain Vaughn, and then 1 more sharpshooter. And now let's move on to the custom figures. So generally speaking, I consider myself a Lego purist, but if they match Lego's aesthetic and it's something that Lego hasn't made or it's an improvement on what Lego made, I have no issue with it personally, so I'll just breeze through these real quick. So here at the very end, I have Waxer and Boyle from Grandpa Clone Customs. From the neck down, they're just the normal Lego figures, and then I only got the helmets. I know they did the full body updated versions and versions with helmet holes. I do not have those. Then there's the GCC Commander Keller. Absolutely amazing. I love that figure. Turned out great. And then we have Styles and Gray in their comic form. They turned out amazing as well. I do appreciate that Gray does have a cloth pauldron. That's pretty neat. And then here are 4 of the concept troopers from Revenge of the Sith in the pink color. I believe they were called the Forgotten Legion, also released by GCC. These were a pain to get, but I'm glad that I was able to acquire them. It's one of my favorite clone designs of all time, hence why I went a little overkill and bought 4 of them. And then here is Jonak Toys, their Commander Fox replacement kit. So an updated torso, arms, legs, and comma. The only thing that's still from the original figure would be the helmet and the head. I also replaced the visor with the black one from the original Clone Wars wave of sets. And then here's the Jonak Toys Captain Vaughn torso. I don't have a replacement Vaughn helmet yet, so I did a very janky attempt here, if the camera will focus. But I used Lego stickers, dark red, to make the missing markings. And I mean, sorry, it will not focus, but it kind of gets the job done. But yeah, that was my entire clone army. I look forward to growing it some more. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I have more stuff planned. And yeah, have a good one. May the Force be with you.